some fun.
So starting a new project, skies and weather effects. So I thought I'd do a couple of demos. I thought this was one I've done for the other group, but it is quite complicated. So I thought I'd do a slightly simpler one first, and then we could do a bit of that one as well. So I was thinking like a sunset where you've got, you haven't got too many clouds or too many other things to worry about. So let's go this one first. The bits I'd be worried about would be getting the blue in the yellow, because it'll all turn green. So that's what I'm going to try and avoid. I'm tempted to just paint this bit, maybe paint it upside down so the colours run the other way. I'm just trying to think of the best way. So I'll do that. I'll start the yellow here. Actually, maybe help if I sketch it. So that's where it's going to come down to there. The trees will be here somewhere. I can draw those in afterwards. That's it. So I'll just turn that upside down. So I think I'll start with the lightest colour, this pale yellow. And I've got a little bit of a warm yellow here. So it's a bit like a cabin yellow, a sort of slightly orangey yellow. Another idea would be to, I think I might just dampen the paper a little bit. Get that a little bit wet to start with. So I've got a nice sort of big brush. These are like a natural hair, and they hold quite like water, which is quite handy. So, and it will just give me a little bit more time to work.
Painted in watercolours or acrylics?
This is watercolours. Yeah, I should have said that bit. So I thought I'd do watercolours this week. Because the last project I did quite a lot of acrylics. So I think I did it all in acrylic. So I thought I'll mix up again a little bit. Do a bit of watercolour this week. I'll try some oils next week. Or you could do similar approach with acrylics if you've got acrylics. But if you wanted oils, if you want to try oils, I can bring some of the water mixable ones in. I've got a set in Rayleigh that we use, just try out. So. Right, so that's just slightly damp. I'm going to go in with the yellows. So painting upside down, that can be the yellows. And then this really strong pinky orange, get some of that in. So I'll just mix something, we've got that paint mixed already. So some red and a little bit of the yellow. It definitely helps to have that ready to start with. Just looking for another brush I had earlier, that one might do. Or that one. Yeah. So using a brush that size, because it'll help me. While that's still wet, I should be able to get sort of fairly soft pen. Working that here. A little bit stronger colour. It's almost, at the bottom there, it's almost purpley, so I'll add a little bit of that in there. Just clean that. A bit of tissue to dry that. Let's make that a little bit more orangey again. So I've made it a little bit deeper, so that can be a little bit unmoving, like that. And then the other bit, the bluey bit, it's going to add a little bit of red into the blue. Otherwise, it would go green. So using, I think this is a cobalt blue, but ultramarine would work too, and a tiny bit of crimson or magenta, a little bit of water. Try and find a bit more mixing space, it's a bit cleaner. It's quite pale there. And they're getting a little bit stronger as I come down. So something like that. It's not a very even, I prefer if that was, maybe I'll put a bit more yellow in. This is the point at which it's very easy to, once you're down, it's best really not to fiddle about and do any more. So this could be the bit where I ruin it, so I should warn you beforehand. But I'm just so tempted to just try and lose that a little bit. Try and get that to merge in a little bit. I think what's happened is the paper is starting to dry a bit. Lift that out. Yeah, so that will be it. I won't do any more. I'll leave it at that. So again, it's quite a good one to practice. You can always just do small ones. They don't have to be that big if you wanted to try that. So I'll take that off now. Leave that to dry flat somewhere. This other one, what I thought I'd show you today is ways of dealing with whites, sort of light bits. So one thing you can, so what I've done here, just in pencil, I've very lightly sketched in the shapes of the clouds to give me a guideline where to go. So that can go on there. This was the demo I did for my Tuesday class. So this is how it sort of turned out. And what I've used, this stuff is called masking fluid. So it's like a kind of liquid rubber solution. And the idea is with watercolours is to try not to use white paint mixed into the paint. So to keep it's getting that nice sort of sense of the white transparent colours, or sorry, transparent colours and bright white paper. And you find that white, if you painted white onto a painting, it's not as bright as the paper itself. So trying to preserve the white of the paper. So this stuff.
Oh,
yep.
Sorry, what was the name of that?
So this is masking fluid.
Oh, masking fluid.
Yeah. So the one I've got here is a slightly bluey colour. Unfortunately, it does tend to ruin the brushes. So this was one that got used on Tuesday. It's got really solid. I think the one this morning I didn't quite fluid. So basically, what I do is I just use a brush that's an old brush or a very, very cheap brush, one that I'm not too worried about. So this one was, I think it was a set that got given or something like that. I find actually keeping the brush slightly down to start with so that the stuff doesn't dry on there too quickly. I think that one I lent to one of the students and she didn't really keep it wet. So what you do is anywhere you want white, you're just painting this fluid. So I'm basically kind of I've roughly sketched out where the clouds are going to go. I'm not, and you can be fairly generous with this. You don't want it particularly thick, but anywhere you want white, don't be afraid to sort of paint that in. And then just a little bit thinner here, some whiter bits in the middle here. There's a few odd little bits of cloud in here. It's a good idea to have perhaps 2 pots of water, so one that you paint your brushes with masking fluid, so the fluid doesn't get in with the other paints. So anyway, you carry on like that, you paint the whole of that in. Then that has to dry thoroughly, completely dry, and then, I don't know if I've got one that's, and then what you can do then is just do what you saw me do a minute ago, just put a wash over that. But yeah, it's got to be absolutely thoroughly dry. Once it's dried, so this is one that, I think it's that way up. This one dry, this was one from, I think earlier in the week. Let's put that there a minute. And then once the watercolour is completely dry, you can then remove that. And you just basically rub it like that, and it will come off. And you've got all the the particular one I've got is a blue colour, and it helps to see where the fluid goes. But I think it's probably not best quality. I think the Winter and Newton one I used to have before this, although it wasn't blue, I think it was slightly better and it came off a bit easier. But that's basically how it works. Take it up, straight away. And then you're left with the cloud shapes. what it does do is it leaves quite a sharp edge. So if you want to soften that edge afterwards, what I then do is, again, it's a little bit slow and a little bit laborious. You need some sort of clean water and a clean brush. But you could just put a little bit of water, just any edges you want to soften, and then just get a clean piece of tissue and just blot it, just blot. So you might not want to do it all the way around, but you could just soften some edges. Obviously clouds, you don't want them all too sharp. So that's one way that you can use masking glue. So if you want to have a go at that, if you want to just try it out, maybe just do one little cloud and maybe try one of the other exercises if you wanted to do that. Well, another way of masking white arrows out is to use a bit of candle wax, and that was the only bit I could find today, and it doesn't seem to be a particularly good candle. But probably the longer, long thin ones would be better. I used to have some of those little party candles, and they're quite good because they're quite small, or a wax crayon. But again, that's something that you can do, and that's what I did here. So this bit here, and here actually, but this one I put it on a bit heavier. Just actually draw some wax candle onto the paper. And I can do it, and again, that's a little bit more instant, so I'll do a bit on, might as well do a bit on the back of the hand. The difficulty with this is you can't actually see very easily where you're drawing. So I'll rub that in like that. Hopefully that's a power shape. And then we'll get some nice strong glue again. And you're kind of left with, so it works as a recess. And these little bobbles, again, you can just lift those out with maybe a bit kind of wipe over those. And actually doing that just softens the edges a little bit anyway. So again, that might be quite nice, where. And then I guess if you wanted the shadows underneath the clouds, perhaps just put a little bit of shadow. I don't know.
But you'd always keep the wax on that one.
That once it's on, it's staying. It's not really coming off. So they're all things that I think I'd sort of suggest do little technique trials before you launch into a whole painting, really. But they're all useful watercolour techniques that artists use. I thought what I might do next week, I might have a go at some of that again, but use the oil paints, which for me is a lot easier. Because that's what
Masking fluid come in different colours.
Yeah, you can. I mean, the one I had before was a slightly kind of off-white. Yeah, and that's what
that'll show up on white paper then.
Yeah, not as well as this does, but it does just about.
Blue.
Yeah, the blue shows up nicely. But I just think this particular one isn't perhaps as good as the one, Winsor & Newton one I had
You didn't
before.
go to the right shop, Paul.
I've got this online, so. But I think I fancy trying the blue one, because the last one I had was like a cream colour.
Yeah.
And it is more difficult to see. You can just about see it. But this was, I thought I'd try that one, but it's probably not quite such a good one. But yeah, so if you did want to go, I'm not sure I necessarily advise going down the road, but you're welcome to try this. I've got it here, might as well give it a go. But if you do use it, I'll find an old brush rather than room. Something like this one would be fine. We'll kind of use that brush or one of the little ones. Yeah, don't use really good quality brushes.
I'm trying.
For putting the fluid on, keep that to the painting. Is that okay? Anything?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Right.
Paul, can I just
Yep.